The story begins in the past, years ago, when Bruce Wayne was preparing for another night of crime fighting, setting his sights on the Riddler. But just as he and Alfred were making final preparations in the Batcave, an unexpected attack occurred. A cloud of gas filled the air, followed by a barrage of darts aimed directly at Batman. With instincts honed from years of experience, Bruce reacted swiftly, only to realize that his attacker wasn't an enemy. It was Robin. Dick Grayson stood there, confident and pleased with himself, revealing that this was a test set up by Batman himself. And he had passed. With a grin, he proudly declared that one day he might even take up the mantle of the Bat. Bruce, as always, kept his thoughts guarded, but the moment left an impression. Fast forward to the present. Alfred stands alone in the Batcave, staring at the two suits that once symbolized Gotham's greatest partnership, Batman and Robin. He watches the Batcomputer, tracking a situation unfolding in real time. Terrorists armed with military-grade weapons are threatening to take control of a small country. The police are already on the scene, but they are outgunned and struggling to keep the situation under control. Then, out of nowhere, the Batmobile roars onto the battlefield. With precision and skill, it takes down the terrorists, trapping them before they can execute their plans. But the man behind the wheel is not Bruce Wayne. It's Dick Grayson, now operating as Nightwing. Inside the Batcave, Alfred maintains contact with Dick, monitoring his movements. He tells Damian Wayne, Bruce's biological son, to finish his homework before returning to discuss things with Dick. But before the conversation can continue, Dick cuts off communication. Alfred sits in silence, lost in thought. His mind drifts back to a moment he will never forget. The day Superman and Wonder Woman returned to him with Batman's cowl in their hands. Bruce Wayne was dead. Superman, ever the pragmatist, asked Dick if Bruce had left behind any contingency plans in the event of his death. But before Dick could answer, Alfred intervened, bringing refreshments for the grieving heroes. When Superman looked at him with concern and asked if he was all right, Alfred's voice broke as he replied, "No, sir. I'm not. My son died." Dick Grayson, usually the strong and optimistic one, was shattered. He wasn't ready for this loss. None of them were. As the weight of Bruce's absence sank in, he broke down. And Alfred, who had been Bruce's father figure for decades, cried alongside him. Determined to honor Bruce in a way that felt personal, Dick made a decision. Instead of a grand public memorial, he would hold a small, private funeral, one that truly belonged to Bruce Wayne. Standing at the grave, Dick swore that Batman would never die. Back in the present, Alfred notices something troubling. Damian is missing. Meanwhile, Damian has gone rogue, facing off against Dr. Phosphorus on his own. But the fight is not going well. The radioactive villain is relentless, and Damian, despite his training, is struggling. Just when things are about to take a dire turn, Dick arrives, swiftly taking down Phosphorus and saving Damian from what could have been a fatal mistake. As they head back to the Batcave, Dick doesn't hold back. He points out every tactical error Damian made in the fight, making sure the young Wayne understands the consequences of overestimating himself. Damian listens, but frustration is evident in his eyes. He wants to prove himself. Later, alone with Alfred in the Batcave, Dick reflects on everything that has happened. Bruce's absence has left a void, and the question still lingers: who will take up the mantle of the Bat? Gotham needs a Batman, but can anyone truly replace him? After a long discussion, Dick makes a decision. If he is going to step into the role, he will do it on his own terms. Instead of operating from Bruce's Batcave, he will forge his own path, his own legend. He constructs a new Batcave, one that resembles the sleek, minimalist design seen in the Dark Knight movie. But Gotham never sleeps and crime never waits. At Gotham Bay's bridge, chaos erupts. The Scarecrow has taken hostages and is ready to unleash his deadly fear gas. The police arrive, armed with protective suits, but they are no match for the corrosive nature of the toxin. The gas seeps into their masks, rendering them helpless. Just as all hope seems lost, a shadow moves through the toxic fog. One by one, the officers are pulled to safety. Scarecrow, sensing danger, decides to release an even greater dose of his weaponized gas. But then, from the darkness, a new figure emerges. The new Batman has arrived. That's it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I see you in the next video.